Y'all see her? And y'all see me? When you see her, you see me. When you see me, you see her. Period. Don't play with my best friend.
A mystery out of Clinton Township. A woman stabbed to death and no sign of her killer, but the woman's family has their eye on someone close to her. Fox News' Jessica Dukebank says the family did see warning signs.
Her phone rang and rang, voicemail. Her sister tried, voicemail. Her job tried, voicemail. Someone drove to her apartment in Clinton Township, Michigan, knocked, nothing. Called her name, silence. So they called the police. And when those officers walked into the Lakeside Village apartments, they found Shamekia Kelly, and they found something else too. Something that would drive this entire investigation from that moment forward. No forced entry, no broken lock, no kicked-in door. Whoever was inside that apartment with her, she let them in. Her name was Shamekia Kelly, 36 years old, medical technician, 10 years on the job, nursing student, big sister, a woman her family simply called a joy. She had done everything right, left Detroit's east side, settled into a suburban apartment, built a career, chased a degree. On paper, while life was moving forward. But the people closest to her had been scared for 4 years, the kind of scare that sits in your chest and never moves. Her sister Tamira Bracey said that every time Shamekia called, she would whisper, every single time, like she was terrified of being heard inside her own home. And if Tamira kept her talking too long, she would rush off the phone. No real goodbye, just gone. Think about that for a second. A grown woman in her own apartment, whispering on her own phone, scared to speak at full volume inside her own walls. That is not just a red flag. That is a person who has already lost control of her own space. And right now, if that sounds even slightly familiar, whether it is you, your sister, your cousin, or someone at work who always seems to be rushing off the phone, stay with me until the very end of this video, because I am going to hand you 2 safety tips that could genuinely save a life in a situation exactly like this. And if you are not subscribed yet, I need you to think hard about that. Stories like Shamekia's are happening right now, in apartments just like yours. This channel documents the warning signs. Missing this content is a risk you cannot take back. Hit subscribe, because one day hearing what Tamira heard in those whispered calls could be the difference between a rescue and a eulogy. Shamekia had been in a relationship for 4 years, and for most of those 4 years, something had felt deeply wrong to Niver Duren and Tamira Bracey. 4 years is long enough for control to become invisible, long enough for isolation to feel like routine. Honak, her aunt Yolanda Bracey, would later say it publicly. Domestic violence is not always physical. It can start from isolation, and Shamekia had been isolated, slowly, quietly, completely. She was still calling, still showing up to work, still enrolled in nursing school. Life looked like progress from the outside, but every whispered phone call was telling a different story. The officers at Lakeside Village were not walking into a mystery. The scene told a story, violent, personal, intimate, and that one detail, no forced entry, no sign of a break-in, nothing, kept surfacing above everything else. Which means only one question matters right now. Who had the key to Shamekia Kelly's apartment? Stay with me, because the answer is where this story gets very real, very fast. Welcome to True Crime Footprint, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most terrifying true crime tales. Kindly hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive.
When I text, respond.
Okay.
Immediately too. If you do not respond when I text you, it's a problem. And I am not playing.
Before we go any further, you need to know who Shamekia Kelly actually was. Not just the victim, the woman. She grew up on the east side of Detroit. And if you know Detroit, you know the east side does not raise soft people. It raises people who fight for their families, who show up, who carry everyone else while quietly carrying themselves. That was Shamekia. For over 10 years, she showed up as a medical technician. Every single shift, reliable, steady. The kind of colleague people depend on without thinking twice. And while doing that, she was also enrolled in nursing school. Working toward her RN, a woman spending her days caring for patients was going home at night to study how to do it better. That is who she was, a caregiver in every direction, at work, for her sisters, for everyone around her. One here is what nobody tells you about caregivers, though. They are often the last people to receive care themselves. They are so busy pouring into others that they forget to protect their own poor. And sometimes the people closest to them take full advantage of exactly that quality. Her employer noticed her absence after years of perfect reliability. Not a neighbor, not a friend. Her job, the institution that ran on her consistency, was the first to sound the alarm. Think about that for a second. If the people at her job noticed she was gone, what was the person inside that apartment doing while her family's calls kept going to voicemail? Most people stop here. But what happens next is where this story shifts completely. If you are new to this channel and you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and ask yourself something. If a story like this was about someone in your circle, would you know the signs? Would you even know what to look for? This channel exists so you do. The people who are not subscribed are the people who find out too late. Do not be that person. Hit subscribe right now. Shamekia missed a shift, then another. Her colleagues reached out. Nothing. Her phone was going straight to voicemail now, not ringing out, straight to voicemail, which means the device was either off, destroyed, or deliberately silenced. For a woman who had been whispering on every call just days before, that silence hit different. Her employer did something that honestly more employers should do. They initiated a welfare check. After a decade of watching someone show up without fail, they were not about to assume she was fine. Clinton Township Police responded. They arrived at Lakeside Village Apartments. They announced themselves. They went in. Shamekia Kelly was inside. She was gone. The cause of death was multiple stab wounds. Before you scroll past that detail, stay with it. A stabbing is not a distant crime. It is close. So it is personal. The attacker has to be within arm's reach. It is one of the most intimate forms of violence that exists. And forensically, it tells investigators something critical. It tells them that whoever did this knew her, was close to her, was trusted by her. There was no forced entry, no broken locks, no damage to the doorframe, nothing. The apartment was accessed the way you access a place you belong. In 2026, forensic technology allows investigators to pull touch DNA from a weapon handle even after someone attempts to clean it. Blood spatter can reconstruct a struggle almost second by second. The science was working quietly in the background, but the family was not getting answers. That gap between what was being processed and what was being shared publicly was becoming its own source of pain. Whilst Tamira Bracey went on camera with WDIV Local 4's Will Jones and said it plainly. Limited information, and they were not accepting that. But here is where it gets really interesting. No forced entry, no stranger, no random motive. Every single piece of physical evidence was pointing inward, towards someone with access, towards someone who knew her schedule, towards someone who had a key to that apartment. And right now, if you are sitting with that and feeling something you cannot quite name, that feeling is important. Recognize it. This channel covers stories like Shamekia's because awareness is protection. If you have not subscribed, I want you to go to the comments right now and tell me why not. Tell me why you are choosing to stay unprotected from information that could matter one day, because I genuinely want to understand. And so does everyone else watching this.
Shamekia Kelly wanted to be a nurse, but she never got that chance. Her family says she was found stabbed to death at the Lakeside Village Apartments in Clinton Township, right across from the old Lakeside Mall. Will Jones caught up with Shamekia's family members in Detroit and joins us live with how they are remembering her while also pushing for answers. Will.
Kimberly and Damon, the family of Shamekia Kelly, reached out to Local 4 on our help desk wanting to share what happened to her. They also want to make sure the person who took her life is arrested and charged.
She was a joy. She brought joy to our family.
Gathering in the Detroit East Side neighborhood where Shamekia Kelly grew up, her family shared their heartbreak.
She was in nursing school. She loved to care for people. She worked as a tech for over 10 years. And it's hurtful to see her gone.
Last week, they say Kelly, just 36 years old, was found stabbed to death at Lakeside Village Apartments in Clinton Township. The family became concerned after they couldn't reach her.
We was trying to reach her, going to voicemail, and her job did a welfare check on her, and that's when they discovered her deceased in her apartment.
She was a loving person. She didn't deserve this at all. She was my big sister.
And I want justice for her.
The family says Clinton Township Police have shared limited information about their investigation. They also say Kelly had been in an abusive relationship for the past 4 years, and they were worried about her safety.
When we would be on the phone, she would be like whispering, like she's scared to voice herself or rushing me off the phone.
And I just want to urge these young ladies that domestic violence is just not always abuse as physical. It can start from isolation.
We've been trying to get information from police all day long. We emailed and called Clinton Township Police. No response.
Let us talk about the 4 years, because none of this happened overnight. Abuse that ends in violence almost never starts with violence. It starts with something so quiet you can rationalize it. He wants you home earlier. He asked who you were talking to. He makes you feel guilty for spending time with your sisters. One day you realize you are whispering on your own phone because you are afraid of what happens if he hears something he does not like. Shamekia was in nursing school. She had a career. She had sisters calling regularly. Every single one of those things was a perceived threat to someone who needed her to stay small and dependent. Her education meant independence. Her job gave her a separate identity. Her family kept a lifeline open that he could not fully cut. When an abuser realizes that control is slipping, that is when danger peaks. Not during the calm, when the grip starts loosening. Yolanda Bracey said it publicly, and I want you to hear it again. Isolation is not just a relationship problem. It is a weapon, and it had been aimed at Shamekia for years. I promised you 2 safety tips. Here they are. Safety tip 1, the whisper test. If someone you love starts whispering on calls, shortens conversations without explanation, or rushes off the phone repeatedly, do not dismiss it. Document when it happens. Do not confront the abuser directly because that escalates the danger to the victim. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Tell them what you are observing. Let the professionals lead. Safety tip 2, the daily check-in system. Set up a simple daily signal with the people you trust. 1 text, 1 word. In anything consistent. If it stops without explanation, act immediately. Do not assume everything is fine. Shamekia's employer acted when her routine broke. The people who loved her had been trying. Build a system so that silence becomes a signal rather than just a gap. Now, there is still one question we have not fully answered, and it is the question that has been sitting in this story since the very first minute. Who had the key? As of April 2026, no arrest has been publicly named in the murder of Shamekia Kelly. The Clinton Township Police Department has maintained an active investigation status. Forensic processing is ongoing. The family is still waiting, and the community that watched her grow up on the east side of Detroit is still angry. Rightfully so. Nivra Duren and Tamira Bracey have not gone quiet. They stood in front of cameras. They went back to the neighborhood that raised their big sister. They gathered people who loved her, and they demanded to be heard. That is what grief looks like when it refuses to become silence. Shamekia was months away from becoming a registered nurse. Michigan is short on nurses. The healthcare system she poured a decade into will feel her absence in ways that no police report will ever capture. And the patients she never got to treat, the students she never got to inspire. The move to Clinton Township was supposed to be a step forward, a calmer life. But trauma does not care about zip codes. The warning signs that existed in Detroit were alive and well inside that apartment at Lakeside Village. And the system, built to protect women exactly like her, did not catch it in time. This case is still open. It deserves to stay open until there is an arrest, a trial, and a verdict. Full stop. To the family of Shamekia Kelly, to Tamira, to Nivra, to Yolanda, and to everyone on the east side carrying this weight. I am deeply sorry. She deserves safety. She deserved to wear those scrubs as a registered nurse. She deserved to come home. If this story moved you, if it made you think of someone, if it made you want to do something, why start with this channel. Subscribe, share this video, because the next story we cover might be the one that saves someone in your circle. To everyone who made it to the end, thank you for watching, for your attention, and for joining us on this journey of reflection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.